Welcome back, everybody. I'm Sassy Pants, wife to Matty the Rancher, and I'll be your storyteller today. Welcome to Adventures with Sodak Pete, a story that celebrates the hard work, big hearts, and wide open spaces of ranch life. Out here, every day's an adventure, and we hope each and every one of you listening can imagine yourself as little Sodak Pete, learning the ropes, getting your hands a little dirty, and helping out where it counts. So grab your boots, tip your hat, and let's see what today's adventure has in store. Sodak Pete and the surprise April snow. Now, you never know what spring will bring on a ranch, and this year it brought snow. Not just a dustin' either. I mean a big, wet, sloshy kind of snow that soaks your socks and sags your hat. Sodak Pete woke up and pressed his nose to the window. "Snow day," he cheered. Matty groaned from the kitchen. More like fire up the tractor and move, snow day. And out the door he went like a rancher on a mission. The ranch yard looked like a frosted cupcake. Water tanks were frozen, gates were buried, and Pete's chores had doubled. But that didn't slow him down. He bundled up, grabbed his scoop shovel, and headed out with Millie the cowdog close behind. "Time to break some ice, girl," he said with a grin. Matty and Pete chipped ice off the water tank, knocking and a banging, trying to get the water moving. But it wasn't easy. First, they hauled out every jug, thermos, and coffee pot they could find, filled with hot water from the kitchen. Pete carried his favorite green water jug, steam rising from the spout as he carefully poured it over the ice. "Even Mom's teapot's out here working today," Matty chuckled. And sure enough, after one last splash of hot water, the ice cracked and the water ran free. Millie barked at the snowflakes, trying to catch them mid-air. Pete slipped and landed right on his behind, then laughed so hard he made Millie roll in the snow beside him. By the time the snow stopped falling and the sky turned soft and gray, the ranch was quiet and still. Out in the pasture, Matty spotted something moving. "Pete, we got a baby on the ground." They tromped through the snow toward a black cow and her newborn calf, born early but doing just fine. The little one wobbled beside its mama, steam rising from its back as it blinked at the morning light. Now, we always hope calves are born in warm weather and on green grass, but ranch life has a way of keeping us on our toes. Pete's eyes got big. "He's shivering, Matty." Matty crouched beside him. "He's a little early, but he's doing fine. Let's leave him with his mama and come back to check on him later." The cow stood guard, calm and steady, and the calf blinked up at Pete, who smiled and whispered, "Hang in there, little guy." When they came back to check on the calf later that day, Pete named him Blizzard. "Because he was born in one," he grinned. They watched Blizzard take his first wobbly steps, and Pete reached out to let him sniff his mitten. Millie wagged her tail as if to say, "Nice to meet ya." By afternoon, the sun peeked out and snow started melting into puddles. Pete built a snowman, then knocked it over with a snowball. Matty called from the barn, "Pete, come and feed some cows with me." So off they went, sloshing through the snow toward Big Blue, their feed truck rumbling and ready. Pete climbed into the passenger seat and off they rolled, spreading feed across the white-covered pasture while black cows followed in a line like it was a winter parade. Big Blue worked like a champ, its engine humming steady, tires chewing through the snow without a slip. That old feed truck sure knew how to handle a snowy day. That night, with the chores done and little Blizzard, our newest calf, tucked in safe beside his mama, the whole ranch seemed to exhale. Snow still drifted gently past the windows, but inside it was all warmth and peace. With his boots kicked off by the fire and Millie snoozing beside him, Pete looked up at me and said, "That was a good day. Cold, but good." And I smiled because that's ranch life, plain and true. We're mighty thankful to the good Lord up above for this land, this life, and even the snowy surprises he sends our way. Don't be surprised if Sodak Pete finds another adventure hiding in the weather. He usually does. Thanks for riding along with us today. Sodak Pete hopes you'll join him on his next adventure.